Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I am so glad that you're here. Today's episode, as you can tell by the title, is all about change and how we take it. Change will always happen. So what do you do about it? There's not much to it, but to just get right into it. So without further ado, here we go. Change. How well do you handle it? I admit, I don't always handle it the best. Change can be huge, but change can also be subtle. It can happen really fast, or it can happen really slowly over a long period of time. So when change happens in your life, because it will, it is inevitable, how do you take it? How do you react? I would say 9 times out of 10, change is uncomfortable. So I guess it becomes another question of how do you react when you're uncomfortable? What do you do when things aren't going your way? Sometimes it's us who changes. And when we change, it not only affects our lives, but it affects the lives of the people around us. So sometimes when we want to change or when we just so happen to change, the people around us get uncomfortable and they react. And then we react to them. There's other times when other people are changing. Maybe they change really fast all at once. Maybe you notice a vibe shift over a long period of time. Of course, their life is becoming different, but it affects your life as well. So how do you handle it? These days, I would say I'm much better at handling change when it comes my way, but it wasn't always like that. I remember as a young kid throwing tantrums every other day whenever something would change, especially something on my schedule. I would regularly have a plan for the day of what I wanted to do, what I wanted the day to look like. And if someone came up to me with plans that I wasn't aware of, or they'd come up to me with something that I had to do, an errand to run that I wasn't ready for, I wasn't planning to do anyways, it would throw me off so hard and I would get genuinely upset. I would get snippy. Maybe at times I would even yell if something else was present, like if something else happened at the same time of finding out the change. But it was a regular occurrence for me to not handle change well. Then I took a very long time to learn about myself, learn that change is inevitable, and if it's going to happen anyways, I might as well learn how to react in the best ways possible so that I don't live my life miserably. And I not only learned that conceptually, but I learned it physically. Like I ingrained it into my body to be ready for change, to accept it, to embrace it, and many times even to create it. There's a lot of times that I have plans or wishes or desires for what I want the day to look like, and then it doesn't happen. If I let it, I could be living in a lot of moments of disappointment. Because when you really think about it, how often does your day go according to plan? How often are there absolutely no surprises? How often do you plan your schedule so perfectly that you're at every single place doing every single thing at the exact right time? How often do you have what some may consider a perfect day? For me, rarely, if not never. So how well do you handle it? What do you do when something like this happens? Sometimes the change that hurts me the most is when relationships change in my life. Maybe someone becomes more distant. Maybe someone moves. Maybe someone just starts acting a different way and you could just tell something is off, something changed, but you can't quite pinpoint what. And when you talk to them, neither can they. They don't even realize what's different, but something did change. When I experience moments like those, I'd say they probably hurt me the most. They upset me the most. When I say I get hurt and upset, in the end, I really just feel a little bit sad. And I know why I'm sad. I'm sad because I had a fantasy in my head. I had expectations of what I thought this friendship would look like. And then those expectations don't get met, aka things change. They often just change in my own mind. Maybe I just didn't read the signs earlier. Maybe I was just too enthusiastic, too excited. But either way, reality of the situation, most times, is that things are headed down a different path. So how I handle these situations, these moments, is I do a reality reset. I'll take a moment where I just sit down and instead of thinking or wondering about what I would have wanted, what would have been the best case scenario, I just ask myself, all right, what is reality right now? What is true right now? First of all, I'm here in my room. Right now, I am recording this episode. When it comes to my relationship with another person, I could say, all right, I last talked to this person yesterday or this morning. The reality is they responded. The reality may be that we make plans for this week or next week or whoever it is, whatever we end up doing. I just go down the list of what's true right now. What do I know for a fact? I don't really focus as much in these moments on things like vibes or energy or feeling, like things that aren't tangible or measurable, something that I know is factual. Because I also know that things like feelings can be easily based on assumptions. One of the most crucial lessons that I learned, and this was probably about 4 years ago now, 5 years ago, was just how often that someone else has something going on which caused them to change, which caused them to maybe pull away. I actually learned it from a daily download that I got out in the world. I had headphones on and I was feeling really bummed about some person in my life not messaging me back or whatever. And I got to a street corner. For whatever reason, I got this nudge that was like, hey, take your headphones out. Just listen to what's going on. And I paused my music, took my headphones out very discreetly. And right as I did that, this guy that was on the phone walked up to the corner, walked in front of me, and was just talking to his friend. And he was saying, hey man, they just have a lot going on right now. It's not you, it's them. And they said a couple more things, all in the same vein, in the same truth. And when I listened to it all, I just knew to put my headphone back in, put on the music and say, I needed to hear exactly that. Because I'm an overthinker. All of these things that I'm talking about can and do live rent-free in my head. And so I have to choose not to keep those thoughts there. I have to choose not to ruminate on them. And it's important for me to remember that other people have their own things going on. They don't have perfect lives. They're not always 100%. And while I know that there's always room for me to learn and grow, and I will always focus on that, I will always do that for myself. There's also the fact that other people also have that, and that it's not always me. It may just be that they have their own things they're going through. They have to overcome. They have other things that will make them change. Sometimes it's tough to remember this in the moment. That's true. But maybe it's the day after, when I'm no longer feeling maybe hungry or angry or lonely or tired, where I'm clear-headed and I could say, oh, you know what? This is the truth. This is real. And also, they have their own stuff going on. If they want me around, they can have me around. But maybe I'm not meant to be around in that way. And that's okay. Because one day, the time will come, the people will come that need you, that want you. And I'd rather you be ready for those people, ready to accept them and love them, than for you to be chasing someone who only gives you half of their attention. They may be giving you even less than that. Find the people that really love and care about you because they're out there. Be yourself. Be who you are. If you're excited to hang around someone, be excited. You don't have to tame yourself. You don't have to put that part of yourself away. Because if someone's not as excited to be around you like you are around them, then maybe you're just not going to be around them just as often. And I know it could be tough to hear, tough to accept, but I know that when you find the right people, and it's a whole group of people that are excited to be with each other, it's going to feel electric. It's going to be magical. And that's the change that I want for you. That's the change that you'll experience that'll make you excited to wake up in the morning, excited to drive to work, excited to go on vacation, excited to just be you. Because when I ask you about that change, and I ask you how you handle that, I know you will have incredible stories to tell. And I personally will be here to hear them. So without going any further, I'm going to take a pause here, a pause for today's episode, and just give both of us a reset. Take a look around, see what's real, give it some love, give it some appreciation, and know that as soon as you let go of all your expectations of what you want the world to be like, it's going to become a much more fun and magical place. So I'm doing this for myself to make it just that. I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing change as a motivator in your life. And until we meet again, just remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.